This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode 995 of Horse Tip Daily. A different horse tip, a different equine topic, a different equestrian expert every day. Horse Tip Daily brings the world of equine knowledge to you, one day at a time. Greetings, horse people. Coach Jen here, and thanks for tuning in to Horse Tip Daily. Today's tip is an excerpt from the eventing radio show. Laine Ashker joins show co-hosts Jess Montgomery and Samantha Clark with an exercise to help teach horses to jump with their knees up, rather than all drapey, to use Laine's word. And we'll get right to the tip after this important message from EasySignsOnline.com.
This week's EasySignsOnline.com spotlight product is their New England Style Farm Signs, their most popular line of signs. New England Style Farm Signs are very durable and designed for long-term outdoor use with no maintenance required. No wood to rot and no paint to peel. They will outlast the old style painted wood signs by many, many years. They are available in many sizes, shapes, and styles, which makes them the perfect sign for any farm or business. Go online today and go through the EasySignsOnline.com easy step-by-step ordering process to see all the prices and options available. They also offer free, no-obligation sign proofs on all New England-style signs. And you get free shipping as well on all New England-style signs. So replace your old worn-out sign and make a great first impression with a new farm sign from EasySignsOnline.com. And the holidays are right around the corner, so it's a terrific gift idea. I can't think of a better one. Visit EasySignsOnline.com.
I think we all know Laine's the queen of selfies and Twitter and Instagram, and there was but I do follow you, and there was a really good question on one of your Instagrams. One of your followers put, how can she make her thoroughbred lift her knees up as tightly as Al did? There was a really nice picture of him show jumping at the 80s, and so can we ask that question? Can we use that as our training tip today? How can you train a horse to jump more tidily in front, or is that something that they're born with?
Some of them are born that way, but most definitely you can teach them to be snappier with their front end, and that's all grid work. And, I come from the school of BDJ, and everything, a lot of the lines that Buck sets up are for that reason, and they're a bit shorter. So a one stride would be 21 feet instead of the normal 24 feet, and or even a hair shorter. And so, the short distances when, the horses get in deep, obviously really getting your posture back so the horse can rock back, it really creates snappier knees. So basically what I told the person that had commented was lots of bounce grids. Also, what I found this year, Silvio, our show jumping coach, I was fortunate enough to be able to take 2 lessons from him this summer, and where he really helped me was with my Calling All Comets, my 5-year-old, because he just gets a little bit flat. Like, he's tight in front, but he lacks a little bit of push behind, and he'll get flat in his bascule over his back. And what I found, I've started doing with all my horses, especially the ones that have drapier front ends, is he has me trotting, doing a lot of trot fences, but with obviously like 7-foot ground poles. And I've kind of put my own little twist on it, as opposed to doing V-rails, because a lot of V-rails help with getting the horses tighter in front, or V-poles. I've incorporated, instead of trotting just a normal long, vertical, making it like a skinny, even if it's a chevron, or, obviously you're going to have a horse that's a little bit more, trained to jumping. But even if it's like a skinny plank or a skinny chevron or just a skinny pole that's a little bit heavier, that kind of gives the same effect of a V-poles, where the horses have to really think of rocking back, but because it's skinnier, they're more inclined to lift their shoulders higher and tuck their knees. And that's been a really big influence, and I do that almost every time on every horse before I show jump now, even in my warm-up at the event. That's been really helpful. Not to mention the fact that it's so clear when you're ahead of your horse when you're trotting a jump. The second you're ahead of the horse, that you leave before they do, you have it down, or they take off. But when you're in unison and you guys are working well together, there's no better feeling than that sort of pat off the ground, and they're really rocking back on their hind ends.
Yeah. Well, I'm confused. So how can you do a skinny or chevron at a warm up for show jumping at an event?
Not at the event. At home is when I do that. But I'll do a lot of trot. I'll do a lot of trot fences in my warm up at the event. Like you have an X and you have a vertical and you have an oxer. So I'll usually have Lauren take one of the poles, because we're fortunate enough to be able to do that now in eventing, where we can kind of have ground poles and ground rails. So I'll have Lauren lay out one of the ground rails about 7 feet out, and I'll trot it a couple times with Comet, or even make the cross rail a little taller and trot the cross rail without any poles. And that sort of just reaffirms my position, not getting ahead of him, not getting quick with my upper body, but it gets him to sort of wait a little bit, rock back, and tuck his knees a bit more. Perfect. But at home is where I incorporate the tougher work, the skinnies, the chevrons, and trotting those. And that's been really helpful so that I can take what I've learned and take it over to the events.
Thank you. Well, that's our training tip from Laine. Thank you very much.
Well, there you go. For links to today's experts, go to horsetipdaily.com and look for episode number 995. And you can listen to all of your favorite Horse Radio Network shows with you wherever you go by downloading the free Horse Radio Network app for iPhone or Android. Just go to your app store and search Horse Radio Network. Do it today. It's quick, it's free, and it's easy. This podcast has been made possible through the generous support of EasySignsOnline.com, your complete source for all sorts of signs for your farm or business, and listeners like you. The Horse Radio Network and the Horse Radio Network hosts are not responsible for statements of guests or their opinions. Use your own judgment when listening to the tips provided by the experts on Horse Tip Daily.